Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self Stories. Today we are talking how much does it cost to open a container site? And it's not as much as you guys might think. Sorry, there hasn't been any other podcasts this week. I have been on my Holly Bobs to Lapland. Just got back late last night. It was awesome. The kids absolutely bloody loved it. The only problem is what you can't control is there's no snow. There was no snow there, and so bless them, they had to ship in snow from other places, other resorts, to make sure we could go on snowmobiles and stuff. And they was doing it till 3 a.m., shoveling the snow off and compacting it, making sure it was safe for the thingies, for the snowmobiles. And then they had these fake snows. So like, no, it's what they do in ski resorts when there's no snow. They have these blower things that make artificial snow, which you can't tell any difference. But it's amazing how many people actually complain because there was no snow. I couldn't actually believe the sense of entitlement from people complaining because there's no snow. It's like going to uh, Tenerife and complaining when it rains. Honestly, it blew my mind. Yes, it's not ideal. You come for the snow, you come to do things like that. But if there's no snow, you can't do anything about it. And so, yeah, I found that mind blowing. Anyway, don't forget to sign up to my newsletter, mrselfstorage.com. There's daily newsletters and self-storage tips and all my results from my sites and what we've done the previous day, the reservations, the move-ins, and all that good stuff. December has started pretty goddamn well for us. 22 reservations, I think we've done so far this week so that's 22 reservations in 4 days, which is 5.5 reservations average a day. So that's really, really good. Right. So how much does it cost to open a self-storage? I get this question a lot. So we spoke about it in the newsletter maybe 3 or 4 months ago in August, 5, 6 months ago. And I realized that I went through my list of all my things I've got to, because I've got a list of podcasting subjects. And I thought, I haven't done this one. So how much? So I'm going to read some of my notes. So how much it costs to open a self-storage facility? Not as much as you might think. This one I'm talking about now is an example from my site that we are opening. We're at heads of terms, but we haven't officially signed yet, so I can't tell you where it is. And I'm going to be purposely a little bit vague. And why am I doing this? I don't think people talk about money enough in the UK. It's like money's a dirty question. Money, like how much do you like? I love talking about money because money makes the world go round. Money is such a driving factor for all of us, but we don't talk about it enough. We don't ever talk about it. It's like we should be ashamed of if we earn money, or we should be ashamed of asking the question or talking about money. And people just feel really uncomfortable. Well, I want to kind of like blow the lid off that because I don't feel uncomfortable talking about it. I love talking about it, and I love talking about people talking about money with people who've got more money than me, who's got less money than me. I just want to learn. I want to educate myself on money, and I don't think we are educated enough on money. So I'm going to start the process by talking about how much it's going to cost me basically to open a self storage. Right, let's have a look. I put here. I wish this content was available when I was starting out because it would certainly stop me making silly mistakes as well. I'm going to be purposely a little bit vague. Said that. I was just about, so I'm going to keep things very simple and very, very high level, just so we get an idea. Okay, so let's start with capital expenses. These are the setup costs. You've got planning, you've got signs, you've got groundsworks, if there's any needed. Sometimes you're lucky you don't need any groundswork. The site we're doing right now, the people are actually doing the groundswork for us because we've negotiated a great deal. Solicitors' fees, utilities, connections of electric, etc. Sometimes, again, you might not need that. We do need a bit of that. They're connecting it to the gate, and then if we need anything else, then we've got to connect it ourselves. So it's a little bit of fees there. CCTV. Do you want CCTV? You don't have to have it. We recommend it. Lights. Do you want lights? Again, you don't have to have it. It's a nice to have. It's not a necessity to have. If you're just setting up, you maybe don't need it. But obviously we're going to have lights. Gates. I put gates here, but we're not actually. They're doing the gates for us. They're making the gates electric for us, which is great. So there's no cost there. They're actually installing a gate for us. Happy days. Access system. So are you using PTI or another one? There's loads and loads and loads on the market. Are you using some sort of access system as well? That will cost a bit of money, maybe £6,000 to £8,000, whatever it is. So my total for opening this site is £45,000. And I've put here, you can asset finance a chunk of this if you need it. Like a gate, you can asset finance a gate. It's expensive, but you can do it. It's kind of a swig of tea. Right, let's move on to projections. Because I think it's important to talk about this because this is something that I stupidly didn't consider when I first opened up. I just thought, we'd open up, they're my capital expenses, that's all the money I need. I'm like, no, shit, we lose money in the first couple of years. So, well, no, depends how big the site is, it depends your site. Mansfield didn't lose money. It was almost nearly cash flow positive from day one. Not quite, but it wasn't too far off. So, the fixed costs, the mortgages, the mortgage, if you've got a mortgage, the rent, the rates, the utilities, they're all fixed costs. Ads, if you're advertising on Google, if you've set £500 a month or £1,000 a month, repayment of asset finance. You might be buying 10 containers at a time, or you might actually be leasing them. You can lease them relatively cheap now. There's actually a good argument right now to see, is it better to do asset finance or to lease them with an option to buy at the end? It's touch and go at the minute, which is best. But the great thing is we've got options. We've got options. The more options we've got, the better it is. So my total running costs for all them, this is mortgage. And by the way, this is when I was doing this is a different site that I'm thinking about now, to be honest. This is one that unfortunately fell through because of planning, because it was going to be our first purchase, was going to actually own the freehold. But the site that we are at heads of terms with, which I thought this was talking about, is a leasehold. So you've either got mortgage or your rent, your rates, utilities, your ads, and loan repayments, or your leasing fees. So that's around about 10k a month. It will take us 10 months to be cash flow positive according to our projections. We will beat these, I'm sure, because I always like to keep my projections very low. I do best case, medium case, and worst case. And I always make sure that my cash flow forecasts are aimed around worst case scenario, because I don't want to be caught with my pants around my ankles. That's not a good site for anybody. So we don't want to be in that situation. And I'll be honest, I have been in that situation before, metaphorically speaking, just so we're all clear there. And it was not nice. It was not nice, because debts keep on coming in, bills keep on coming in, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't account my cash flows to lose money. And so it will take us on this particular site 10 months. Now, the site I was thinking would take around about 10 months as well to be cash flow positive. So I've actually worked out our total cash out. So in the 9 months before we would be cash flow positive, we would actually lose a total of £28,000. So we'd lose 28k. So we needed to add the 45k setup fees, the capital expense, to the running cost of 28k before we're cash flow positive. Because once we're cash flow positive, you never look back. I mean, never say never, but never look back. Never. Right, so we'll definitely be cash flow positive then. So 28 plus 45 means that I would need £73,000 to open this site. That's the cash I would need to open this site. And the site will cash flow around about big numbers. I mean, solid numbers, like, we're not rounding up to the pound or anything like that. We're £25,000 basically. The site will cash flow around about £25,000 in 2 years. In year two. So year two, so month 13 to month 24, we will cash flow £25,000. And we'll definitely beat that, by the way. I mean, every other site has outperformed this, and I'm sure we'll do the same as well. I know what you're thinking. 25k is not a lot, but it's a 34% cash on cash return. A 34% cash on cash return. I think that's good, but that will compound every year. It will go up every year. So in year two, you're getting a 34% cash return. So you're putting 73k down and you're getting 25 back in year two. But it gets better. I put in year 4 onwards, it cash flows around about £120,000. That's year 4 onwards. And don't forget, by this point, we'll have bought out most of our containers and all the leasing ones. So the containers will be ours as well. So £120,000 in year 4 onwards. And we will smash them figures. I'll be devastated if we only do this. So the cash on cash return on that is £164,000. We put 164%, sorry. We put 73k in, and then we're cash on cash return is 120 grand. Honestly, are people getting how good this self-storage like is? I'm going to shout it from the rooftops for another year, and then I'm potentially going to shut up about it, because I'm obviously creating more competition for myself. I don't think there's ever been as many influx of people coming into self-storage, right? So in a million, so in a nutshell, remember, you don't have to be multimillionaire to open a self-storage facility. You don't. £73,000. Beg, and by the way, you can asset finance a gate. Beg, steal, or borrow. What are the three F's? Fools, family, and friends. That's what I did first of all. I had to borrow from fools, family, and friends. The fools were the family and friends. Honestly, I went to my dad and said, Dad, got a great idea. I'm going to open a container site. What, do you know anything? Nope, know nothing about it. All right, son. It's 25 grand. Off you pop. Good luck. So, yeah, I just want to get across. It doesn't cost as much as you think to open a self-storage site. And it's changed my life. Like I said, I couldn't have gone to Lapland just now without self-storage. Next week, a week on Monday, we're going to Centre Parks. And so I feel very, very lucky and blessed to live this life. And it's all because of self-storage. And if I'm a team, my team are awesome. But if I can just help one person or just help them open a self-storage facility, then that to me is awesome because it is life-changing. And people look at bricks and mortar and like, oh, it's so good. The cash on cash return is amazing. But then you compare it to self-storage. And yes, there's more work with self-storage. It's a business that you have to manage in some capacity. Yes, it can be hands-off. Like Beverly only takes an hour or two a week for us, and it nets 160, 180 grand a year, which is fantastic. But it is more labor intensive than a house. But there's other problems with houses as well. But then you get rewarded for that because of the returns you get. So it drives me mad when I see people talking about the returns on houses and stuff. But self-storage, wow. As long as you know where to look and where to put a self-storage facility. And by the way, just follow my content. Everything's there. And then we open the course 4 times a year. I hate that, by the way, when we sell it. I hate doing, get some pan. And yeah, I hate it. But it brings in over 6 figures a year. So that's awesome. It helps me then reinvest in self-storage. Right, my friends, I've got to go because I've got to take the kids to school. I love you. I appreciate you. And just remember, it doesn't cost as much as you think to open a self-storage facility. Want some more information and content, mrselfstorage.com. Head on over there and I'll see you there. All right, my friends, have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.